this is Caitlin with Captured by Caitlin Rose, and I am here today to do a little Q&A video on what it's like to be a photographer and why I chose this job. So, the first question today is, how do you handle cloudy or rainy days? And I think that this is a question that a lot of people have, because I always get questions about with my sessions, oh, what are we going to do if it's raining, or what are we going to do if it's cloudy and not sunny? And with weddings especially, brides are really concerned because you can't reschedule your wedding because of bad weather. So I learned really early on, that it was really important to learn how to shoot in all conditions. So to me, that meant that because I knew I wanted to do wedding photography, I needed to figure out how to be able to photograph well under less than ideal conditions, including rain and including clouds. And I learned to really love clouds pretty quickly because it provides such a nice diffusion of the natural sunlight that you're not worried about harsh shadows. Nobody's squinting on a cloudy day because the sun's not right in their face and it's not reflecting off of a lighter surface on the ground like concrete or sand if we're on the beach. So it tends to be a much better light actually to work in than if we're shooting in the middle of the day in bright sunlight, because the sun's not beating down on you, you're not trying to squint. And so I really like shooting in clouds. I still love the golden light, golden hour portraits obviously, but I enjoy cloudy weather. And I really like rain actually, especially for night portraits on wedding days, because I love working with off-camera lighting, and I feel like you can get really creative with incorporating the rain into your portraits with off-camera lighting that kind of lights up the rain all around you and creates a really magical effect. So I am well equipped to be able to photograph in all conditions, including the rain. And I never reschedule unless the client really wants to because of the weather, because I know how to make it work and look great no matter what the weather is, and I really enjoy it. The next question is, would you say that the composition of a shot or the editing is the most important? And to me, I can't say that either one is necessarily more important. I always try and get the composition and lighting right in camera so that I can save time editing. I will, of course, if there's a bra strap showing that we don't catch while we're taking the picture, I always try to catch that first, but sometimes you miss it, so I know how to remove those things later. But to me, being able to get it right in camera really helps me to save some time on editing. Although the editing can really transform a shot into something totally different. So I photograph everything in color, but to be able to transform things into a really dramatic black and white, the editing is really important. And black and whites can be really hard to nail the toning just right. So in there, knowing how to edit is very important. But to me, composing correctly and getting the lighting right in camera really helps the editing process, so they both kind of carry equal importance in creating a great final product. The next question is actually going to get its own video because I don't feel like I can do it enough justice right now. Is, what are your top 5 tips for the non-photographer to take better pictures at home? That's definitely going to get its own video because I would like to be able to in-depth answer with each of the 5 points that I definitely incorporate into daily life, and I think that everybody can incorporate with their daily pictures, aside from their annual portrait sessions. The next is, what is your favorite part of a wedding to photograph? The service, the reception, the couple's photos, etc. This is probably the hardest one for me to answer because I don't know that I have just one favorite. I love every part of the wedding day. The getting ready is so great because the anticipation and excitement for what's about to happen is tangible in every room. So you have grooms that are so nervous and can't wait to see the bride, and the bride who's putting on her dress with her mom and her best friend or sister is just, there's so much joy built up in the moment that it's really exciting to get to be part of. And then the ceremony is probably the most meaningful part of the day, and so I really love hearing people's vows that they've written and just feeling the weight of what's happening and the how special it is to be invited into that moment with these people in such a unique capacity as being their photographer and actually documenting what's happening. I never get tired of that, and the honor of it is never lost on me, so I'm always tearing up during the ceremony because it feels so special to be able to be part of this. And then the reception, I have so much fun at receptions. I absolutely love them. The dances in the beginning, like father-daughter, first dance, and mother-son, are always so much fun. At this stage in my life, I always cry during the mother-son dances because I have a 6-month-old little boy, and every time I'm just thinking about, oh my gosh, one day I might be dancing with him at his wedding if he decides to get married. So I can't pick one favorite. I think hearing the toast of the reception is so fun because it lets me get to hear about another side of my couples that I don't really get to know in the planning process. So I'm learning about their relationship during the process of working with them. But at the reception, I get to hear about who they are as friends and who they are as family members. And learning about that side of my couples is always really fun too. And then the actual reception party where everybody's dancing is so much fun because I love to dance. So I am always dancing while I'm photographing. Most of my reception shots that you see on my website, I am always like right in the middle of the action, and it's because I literally am dancing with everybody while I'm taking the pictures. Camera's always in front of my face while I'm moving too, and I have tried so hard so many times not to do it and to just kind of stand on the sidelines and not be moving at all, but I physically cannot help it. It happens automatically and I can't stop it. And so I figured I might as well embrace it, and that way I end up with these really awesome party shots where you feel like you're at the reception while you're looking at my reception pictures. You're literally living in the moment again because we're having too much fun. I even have a picture with one of my favorite brides. She and I were dancing together at the reception while I had one of my cameras in my hand, and my second shooter took a picture of the two of us dancing together, and it's probably one of my favorite ever behind the scenes shots because that's just part of who I am. I love it. And I can't help it. I love receptions. They're so fun. I love them as guests and I love them as a photographer. And then the last question is, what got you into being a wedding photographer? What made you interested in it? And this is a fun one. I actually have two events separately that got me interested in it. One was my own wedding. I was really, really, really sick on my wedding day. Like, I had the flu to the point where my parents and my husband the entire day leading up to the wedding were debating, like, should we take her to the hospital or to the wedding venue? Like, do we need to just, like, move this whole thing to a room in the emergency room? Which I am very thankful that did not happen. I have seen enough of hospitals in my life at this point. Last year I spent a lot of time in them while I was pregnant, so I'm very glad that I don't have wedding day memories of being in a hospital gown. But my wedding photographer did such a good job of making me look like I was perfectly healthy, and I am amazed by the fact that I look like a normal, beautiful bride who did not have 104-degree fever and had not been throwing up all night and could actually, I really don't remember my wedding day hardly at all because I was so sick and my fever was that high and I was so tired. I really barely remember it. But seeing the power of photographs to transform what that day looked like from my perspective at the time to what it looked like from an outsider's perspective was amazing. And so that really got me thinking about this long-time hobby that I'd had of loving photography and having been the weird friend that carried camera around to every social outing I ever went to, and seeing that it was a potential for it to be a career was really cool. So that's kind of what got me thinking about it. And then later when I decided that I had taken a few classes in photography and I decided that I was going to really pursue this. I was photographing my best friend's sister-in-law's birth with her second baby. And it was this magical experience. Our families have been friends for like 11 years now. And so it was really exciting to get to be part of this really special moment with people that I really loved. And then after I had delivered the photos and some of them had been published, my client, friend who had just given birth, one of her best friends was actually getting married and needed a wedding photographer and reached out to me and asked if I would be interested. And I thought, sure, that can't be too hard, right? Like, weddings, I can totally handle that. And oh my goodness, I was so wrong. That was the hardest job of my life because I had no idea what I was doing yet. And I probably should have said no, but I'm glad that I didn't because I learned so much from that. And even though when I got home, I was so tired and freezing cold because it had been raining the whole time. This was right during Hurricane Joaquin that like flooded the entire state of South Carolina. And we were in a backyard that flooded because it was next to a creek and there was like mud everywhere. And somebody was supposed to bring the bride's shoes with them and completely forgot to bring the bride's shoes. So I had a barefoot bride in freezing cold mud. Like, it was nuts. And we were so cold. By the time I got home, my husband was like, you should go take a hot shower before you get in bed and like warm yourself up and kind of wind down from the day. And I thought about getting in the shower and I was so tired that I just burst into tears because I could not imagine doing one more thing before getting into bed. And even though I was so exhausted and overwhelmed and all of my dreams that night looked like I was looking through a viewfinder and things were coming in and out of focus, they're very disorienting dreams, but they always happen when I work for 10 hours or more and straight. I knew the next day, even with how rough that day was and how tired I felt and how sore I was, I had just done the thing that I was going to spend the rest of my life doing as a career. And I can't imagine ever going back now. So I'm really thankful for that first bride to give me a chance and my own wedding for kind of giving me a glimpse into what was going to be my future, even though I had no idea that that's what I was going to do with it at the time. And, for my family, always believing that I would be able to do it. And now Drew has actually come on board as my chief operations officer, which he says is too formal of a title for him, but it's really what he's doing. But they've always believed that I could do this from the beginning, from the first day that I said, I think I might want to shoot weddings, guys. They have not questioned me since. They have always been like, yeah, you can do this. That's totally going to work for you. So all of the little things that led to me doing this now are amazing. And I just can't believe that this is my job and this is my life, getting to be invited into love stories all the time. So I hope that answers a lot of the questions that we've had so far. I will definitely come back and do another Q&A later because I feel like I've been talking for a while about these ones. So the next set of questions, I will try to ramble a little bit less, but no promises. Because when I talk about what I love, I kind of keep talking a lot. So thank you for watching. I'm excited to be back really soon with 5 tips for taking your own photographs at home. And I can't wait to keep doing more of this and tell you guys more about what it's like doing this job. Thank you.